So what was like the biggest turning point in your journey to the NBA?
That's a great question, right? The smoke right out the gate. The biggest turning point was, going through a little adversity out here on these streets, particularly this street that's named after me now. Um, I grew up here, uh, went through a lot of different things. I saw a lot of different circumstances, involved myself, engaged myself into a lot of different things, and was by the grace of God was able to pivot. And I had proper mentorship to pull me out of a lot of situations. Um, Most importantly, I wasn't stubborn. I listened to information, I gathered it, I assessed it, and I applied it to my life, and eventually changed my life and got the proper habits, and eventually put it all together. And 20 plus years later, to be an overnight success, but eventually making it to the NBA and doing some wonderful things with my life.
Did like did the city of Racine affect anything throughout your career?
Yeah, good and bad. I'll start off with the bad first because everybody loved the hero story. So I would say bad, just having uh, 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 a mediocre mindset and the ability to see a village of things happening around me that wasn't productive. Me falling into the trends and not being a leader. Um, You can share just imagine this, like, if you go into a fragrance store right now, a cologne store, a perfume store, and you walk through that store, what are you gonna come out smelling like?
Perfume cologne.
Yeah, so but if you walk into an environment, and I know we believe in, sources higher than us because, we're here, like, we're a amazing creation, but Uh, if you just walk into an environment, a neighborhood that has trauma, that has bad energy and all that stuff, what are you going to come out smelling like? You're not going to come out unscathed. You're going to have a lot of things happening and going on, and you're going to feel like the environment you probably just came out of with a lot of trauma. So, I felt the same way about the cologne store, and that was the neighborhood. But fortunately, I was able to go to a different neighborhood, into a different environment, and I was poured into by a lot of great mentors, and really just helped shape and change my life. But I also remember the life lessons from this environment that really helped, change my whole entire life.
Going to like towards the mindset area, how did you stay mentally confident within yourself during your career?
Well, that comes from dealing with adversity early, and also too, just habits. Like anybody can wake up in society and do something good once. You know how hard it is to do something consistently good over and over again? It's like it's a lot of discipline, it's a lot of dedication and a lot of determination. And that's why when you see someone healthy, right? When you walk down and you go into a gym and you see somebody with abs, you're intrigued by that person just because you know what it takes to turn down food, to turn down sweets, to turn down whatever. And I know all you guys are on social media and stuff like that, but think about some of the stuff that you might uh, overlook at on screen time because you're intrigued by like discipline. And then sometimes you're intrigued by chaos because you're just like, damn, that's crazy. Like, why is that person doing that? You're intrigued by chaos too, but most importantly, I think the real trend is discipline. And once I got around disciplined people, once I start seeing what uh, people always see what success look like, but they don't see like the no's that you have to say in order to get to success. So the discipline that I've seen a lot of people have in order to be successful, I start watching what they was doing, but I also start watching what they wasn't doing to be successful. And I applied it to the fabric of my life, and good things happen for me.
So, what advice would you give to athletes in general to make them a better athlete?
Create a system. You are the original you. So be you, be consistent, be disciplined, be dedicated. But most importantly, you have to create a system that works for you. and get a village of people that's going to be around you, that's going to tell you the unapologetic truth all the time, and be okay with hearing the truth. You know, we don't share lies, we share truth. And what happens in a lot of communities is people trauma connect. Yeah, they sit around and they talk about people, they talk about trends, they talk about all the wrong things sometimes instead of talking about some of the things that will be uplifting and take people to a higher place. Nothing mediocre. Challenge everyone around you in your village to be better. And that's the 1%. If we all challenged ourselves to be 1% better every day, just imagine what happened in 365 days out the year. Like you did a whole 360. So that's what the challenge has to be. And it start with y'all. It start with young people.
What would you say is your biggest accomplishment? Not even just your career, but in your entire life so far?
So my biggest accomplishment in my entire life so far would have to be, being a father. Grew up without a father, fatherless household, by choice. So I think just me being in my children's life, 4 girls, 1 son, uh, amazing students, amazing human beings, college graduates. Like it's truly a blessing. I think that's the biggest accomplishment, and just having stability and all the things that I ever dreamed of in my marriage. I think that's very important as well.
Is there something that you have learned from your career that you would apply in your everyday life?
Yeah, I think small things become big things, and I think that people don't understand when you sweep something small up under the rug, how it can eventually become a lot of dust under there if you don't address certain issues and certain little things. As a coach now, I try to pay attention to the small details. I try to help people enhance themselves. One of the main reasons why I think one of my young fellas who was a rookie for me for the Milwaukee Bucks, Giannis Oladipo, uh, I'm happy that he's with us with the Miami Heat now because I'm able to help him. I'm able to, push him to another level, and it's because of the details. And he knows my record about consistency and being better, and he wants to be out there in Miami with us. Bam Adebayo, someone else that scored 83 points in a game. He was just a live threat when we got there 6 years ago, and now his whole body of work is just different. He's able to score in so many different ways. So, yeah, the little things.
And kind of on the flip side of that, is there anything very important from your everyday life that you want to keep in your mind throughout your career?
Yeah, this always putting obviously God first, my family second, and just my my discipline to like never waver. Like I'm always going to be who I am because I was what I was before I got in this situation. So I'm blessed. I understand the platform that I have. I understand that I've been extremely blessed and the light that I've been given, and I want to shine light on others. It's the reason why I got asked. I think yesterday or the day before, with my busy schedule, I literally had 76 minutes today of free time, and I'm spending it with y'all because it's important to pour back into the community. And one of the things that I always said was I never was going to miss out on opportunities to connect with the youth if I ever was blessed enough to be in this situation, and here I am.
First thing I had to ask is, why do you think Giannis was the right fit for the Miami Heat?
I mean, great question. When you think about Heat, you think about culture, you think about hardest working, most professional, most consistent. Um, you think about the best in shape, you think about the mentality and everything. It really fits the criteria of what you saw over 10 plus seasons here with the Bucks of Giannis and what he's been able to do, what he's been able to become, the greatest player in franchise history, and someone that I've mentored for years. And now to have him in South Beach, I think is just a perfect marriage. Without even playing the game, I just think it's a perfect marriage already.
And then, do you have like a favorite facility you've been on, like out of all the teams you played on?
My favorite facility to go to and play at is MSG, Madison Square Garden. I think it's just because of the history. Obviously, it's the Big Apple, but it's just so much history in that building. You know, you think about the Jackson 5 concerts, to the Jay-Z's, to the Drake, the Versus, everything. Like, everything happened at MSG.
And then I heard you went to Case at one point. Is that true?
Yeah, I did. I went to Case High School. I was literally there for a half a year. Um, got arrested at Case High School and had to do 2 years in corrections. Ended up going to Wales for quite some time and got out and really just made the pivot and changed my life.
My uncle is Rick Geller.
Oh wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sergeant Rick Geller, that's him, Sawyer, all they're my people, man. So, hey, you family, brother.
And then why did you decide to write a book?
I think for a long time, you know, when you have information, people always tell you to hold the information hostage.
Mhm.
Don't share it. But it's receipts and it's breadcrumbs and a bread trail of how I got to this point in my life. And it might help you, it might help them, you know, it might help somebody, but it's important that you share, you know, those adversities and give people the cheat sheet and the cheat codes on how to, you know, advance their lives and be better. And I try to share that information. My brother, the late great Kobe Bryant, told me to write that story and to write the book. I had all this information. I was journaling it for quite some time. And he said, man, you got to put that out. Tell the story. It'll help a lot of kids. And it really has.
And then so I've been a photographer for 4 years. Do you have any like tips for like upcoming like entrepreneurs into like how to like make it out of their smaller city and be a bigger thing?
Yes. I mean, you at me on anything, I'll definitely share it. You know, I got over 1 million followers, so I'll definitely share your stuff. But like this thing right here, you have access to so many people, so many things, right? So people watching,
Mhm.
people always branding, and people always looking for a fresh eye and new talent. So if you're really passionate about what you do, you give the creative look from your lens and your observation, and you tag people, and they'll share your work, and then eventually they'll ask you to do work for them.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I came home and I'm in the gym every morning at 5:36 a.m. I'm at one of these centers, whether it's the King Center, the Bray Center, or even here at the Bryant Center, and I'm waking up before everybody get up, and I'm already working, and I'll just reach out to random photographers,
Mhm.
content people. Hey, can you pull up? Hey, I'll give you 150 an hour. Can you come, you know, just take some footage of my daughter on spot? Like, these guys pull up, and I've dealt with over 10 people just here in Racine. So it's a lot of opportunity out there for you.
Yeah. That was all my questions. Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome.
Nice to meet you.
Yep. Tell Rick I said hi, man.
So what would you say is your favorite thing about here in Racine?
My favorite thing about here in Racine is the people. I think that Midwest people are the best people on the planet. I traveled the world. I've been to over 30 countries, and there's no place like home. There's no place like the Midwest. And I always tell my wife that she's a East Coaster. She's originally from Jamaica. They got a little sassiness to them. I don't want to say they're mean people. They're just not as nice as us. But we're super receptive. We're receiving. We're givers. And I think that's just the Midwest way, and particularly Racine. We love our own. We protect our own. And that's the reason why I'm so valued here in this city, because that's what it is. So I'm homegrown, and that's why I love the city.
And then what would you say is like the hardest part about like how you built your career and like what you've done?
The hardest thing with anything is being consistent, because it's always going to be distractions. You know, how hard was it for you to walk from that chair over there to here and remember the questions that you wanted to ask? It's hard. Like, it's like something that simple is just, it takes confidence. It takes like a skill, like to have a memory of like, okay, what did I just say? What did I just write down? Like, I don't want to mess this up. But it also come with preparation. So you have to be consistent. That's the hardest thing, and you got to continue to show up even on days where you don't feel well. That you stayed up too late, you got up too early. It was a hard night sleeping, You just gotta just stay consistent throughout the distractions.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello, nice to meet you again.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
All right.
All right. So what helped you? So what helped you got? Okay, sorry, I'm a little nervous.
Take your time. You good?
So what got you started on your career? So what helped you? All right, anyway, what helped you start your career?
I think confidence. I think that's the biggest thing that helped start my career and opportunity, and being prepared for the opportunity in the moment. People always ask for blessings. People always ask for pretty much everything, right? But you have to be prepared for what you're asking for. Then I used to pray hard. I used to pray hard at night. I used to pray on the road, AAU traveling circuit. I used to be in my room, peace be upon him, Jamil Aguari, one of my mentors, a Muslim guy used to tell me that ran the community center at the Bray. Just be prepared for what you're asking for. And I used to always just think about that. And, it came into fruition. It really did.
Mm. What was the hardest part about your career?
I think the hardest part about my career was keeping your sanity in the midst of a magic carpet ride. Because everything, like all of you in here, y'all got dreams and ambition. What you want to be when you grow up?
I don't know.
You don't know? You want to make a lot of money though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And and money is the vice for a lot of people, but sometimes it isn't about money. Sometimes people just want to be genuinely happy. And I had to understand that it was a balance, but I was trying to find genuine happiness along with being really successful and rich. And that was the balance that I had to struggle with for years before I found that place where I'm happy. I found joy. I'm able to be on this magic carpet ride with my family, and prepare for what's next. And I'm living in the moment and I'm staying present in the dash moment that will be on my tombstone. Because we start with a birth date and that dash in between, I'm trying to stay present in all that time. And then there's going to be an ending at some point, and there's going to be a date. I'm going to die on like a random Wednesday or something one day. But I want to live and be present in that dash moment.
Was it difficult, like, kind of ideas for a book and like making the book or making books you made?
You know what? The hardest part was not editing anything. Like, because whenever you write something, people want to edit it.
Mhm.
All right, let's take this out. No. Can't. The story isn't the story if you take something out,
Mhm.
right? As nervous as you were when you came up here and started talking, it's good. It's good to be nervous. Every game I used to feel just how you felt right now.
Mhm.
Before every game. Even as a coach now, before every game, I still get the jitters. I can't pay for that. It's just a feeling that you feel when you know the presence and the moment is special. And, so it is what it is.
So about a year ago, you came to Gilmore Fine Arts and you gave me $20. I never said thank you. So like I'm very appreciative for that money. I really appreciate what you did for me.
No problem. So what did you answer a question in the crowd or something? Because I was asking for crowd
Yeah,
participation.
I answered a question in the crowd.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It was really cool.
I underpaid you. But you made $20 asking the question.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah.
It was nice to meet you.
Yeah.
for the first time.
Pleasure.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure, man.
All right, now back to our actual question.
What did you spend the $20 on?
I bought my mom a gift because she wanted something. So I bought her a gift, like a little car and put some money in the car. Just buy her something nice.
That's special.
Yeah. So, how was it meeting Shaq for the first time?
How was it meeting Shaq? You want to know how I met Shaq for the first time?
Mhm.
I got traded for Shaq.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I went to Los Angeles, and Shaq left the Lakers and went to Miami. And when we played against each other for the first time, he just, he was just a, big, goofy dude, like
Giant.
cool, yeah, giant, but cool. Like all the stories that you hear about Shaq now in his later years, I saw that as a player because, players know players differently because we see each other, we're around each other a little bit more, whereas the general public or the population, they only see like the character of the players.
And the camera,
the
camera show.
camera show you.
Yeah.
And I saw him behind the scenes, behind the curtain, He's just a good, funny, genuine dude. Exactly what you see now. And I had the privilege of working with Shaq when we both retired. I was working with NBA TV, and this salt of the earth, man. Good dude.
So I feel like you have a super long career in the NBA, above average as far as like when it comes to players and stuff. So I feel like you've seen, my bad. I feel like you've seen a spectrum of players,
Mhm.
and I wanted to know, both as a coach and as a player, who was the hardest to face as a player and as a coach? Like, what was most difficult?
That's another great question. Me as a player, Kobe Bryant was the hardest individual I ever had to guard. Between him and at a hard second was T-Mac, just because their ability, their sides, isolation players had counter moves that could score facing up, back to the basket, ball in there, feet in the air. They just, they had it, they possessed it. Kobe on the opposing end was a great defender too. So that mean that you had to work your tail off to guard him. Then also too, you had to really work to try to score on him, because he was, elite defender, like all defensive team, like pretty much every year, until later in his career. Preparation wise, I would still say Jalen Brunson, SGA,
Mhm.
and even one that's becoming a headache and a problem. I need a Cedrin the size of as a golf ball to guard like the headaches that he give me. Is the kid from Detroit, Cunningham.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Cade is, and the reason why he's tough is because he's starting to hit the outside shot. He can play in pick and roll situations. He can play in the drop coverage, and he's big enough to see over the double teams where he can hit, the pocket high or low. And he's a post up guy too, so he can play with his back to the basket. So he's extremely tough.
That's great. Yeah. I have one more thing. I would say, like, what's the transition like going from a player to a coach?
Uh,
You guys see the game in a whole different way. So I wonder what that's like.
Yeah, you do and you don't. Like it's almost like a cheat code. I always saw the game slow as a all-star level player. But the thing is the messaging. Like, and I give you an example. What the kids listen to now, the language is different. But if you stay current with the language and the connection, then it's always like the ecosystem is the same. But it changes when you get disconnected from the ecosystem. I grew up listening to, certain things and certain terminologies and stuff like that. And it was particularly structured in the 90s and early 2000s. But I have kids, so my kids keep me current, TikTok, all this stuff, social media, our conversations at the dinner table in the household.
6'7"
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, 6'7". I was like, I know it's kind of old now, but it's still relevant to the time. They keep me current. And so now my connection with my guys and my players is, one, I'm credible. I played 16 years in the NBA. I'm an all-star NBA champion, made a lot of money. So that gives you valid credibility. But it's also, you're speaking their language currently. So it's like, oh, okay, he knows something. Like, obviously he know the game, but he's still in like our circle. He's speaking our language. You can identify with that, and that's extremely important.
How was it growing up in Racine?
So how was it growing up in Racine? It was great. My mom here, we grew up just a couple blocks up the street, on Howell Street. It was crazy. We used to go in the house when the street lights came on. It was a different environment. It used to be a signal. You used to go, just like when you get a tornado warning, it used to break into all the networks and everything and say it's 9 o'clock. Do you know where your children are? Our community was very connected. Everyone knew everyone, kind of like now everybody know everyone's family. But it was really, you was raised by the community that you was in. Everybody knew everyone. Everybody was connected.
And when you like switch teams, like how you feel?
When I switched teams, initially the first time from I played in some great cities. I played in Milwaukee. I mean, it was a great city to me. People don't like Milwaukee. I loved the experience. It was home. I played in Miami. I live there now, so it's over 10 years, over a decade staying there. But I was in Los Angeles for over 13 years. Played for all the 4 California teams except for Golden State Warriors. Um, I was in Arizona, another great city. I was in D.C., great city. Dallas, great city. Uh, the only time I was, really mad when I had to move was when I went to Detroit. Uh, I was just upset because I hate the winters. I wasn't familiar with Detroit, but the beautiful thing about it, I used to always be able to come see my son play. And I used to be able to fly to the games. I used to be able to come to the Case Park rival games, Horlick, and see those things as a player. So it was still fun. What's up, brother?
What would you say the Bryant Center means to you, and what was it like growing up around here?
Okay, so what do the Bryant Center mean to me? This was a place that is my refuge. I came here every day. Um, I'm talking about the second I get off bus 7, the bus stop was literally right there. The center opened at 3:00. So right when I got out of school, I left Mitchell. Either I walked down Duran, came straight here, played basketball until Tommy Moe King Tut. He cut the lights off in the gym, and then it was time for the older people to come in at 5:40. Um, or, you know, um, being in the back where, I built that dream court back there. But it was a total different setup back there before. It was a rough setup. The gravel was crazy, but this is where I grew up. I took karate classes here, right behind you, where this kitchen at. Jose Winston, the ball head DJ. I was back. I was back there doing karate classes, learning techniques. I got my black belt by running around the Army base barefoot in the winter. Uh, I did Christmas giveaways here where I got bikes and different things. Saw the Black Santa Claus and had that whole experience. Um, I grew up here in this center. I did sleepovers here in this center. I did everything in this center.
Do you think if you hadn't gotten the opportunities and had the experience that you had, you'd be the same person today?
No. If I didn't get the opportunities and I didn't get the experiences, good and bad, I would not be this person that I am today that's sitting in front of you. It took me, I'm 46 years old. It took me 46 years to be an overnight success where people want to hear your story. And it's only a story because I made it. It would not be a story if I didn't do all the things that I had to do after I, made the money, the discipline, and the decisions I made from a business standpoint to be a success. I would have been a tragedy if I would have kept the same habits. It was the reason why I'm sitting in front of a lot of people where I'm able to go to branches for a bank and where I'm able to, be a coach on the sideline and people carry weight and currency with your messaging and your voice is because you became successful with your habits. And that's extremely important. The reason I'm able to talk to you is because, and maybe you want to listen, is because, all right, he from where I'm from. He a millionaire. He did this. He did. All right, I hear him out for a minute. Like, that's value. That means something. That means something to me that I still could connect to young people.
I have any more questions?
Yeah, good job, bro. That's everybody? Solid. It's a great job. Great job.